Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation podcast, Festival Fair edition. Today we're with Aaron Kendrick. He's from the Shelby County Fair. Aaron, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Aaron, give us a little background on you. Where'd you grow up? Talk a little bit about your family and your career.
Yeah, grew up here in Shelby County, Missouri, Shelbina. Grew up farm, country boy. Left after high school. After high school, I left and joined the Navy, and I returned 24 years later. I retired and moved back here. I wanted to come bring my son back to graduate and be a part of the small town community and family around. So we moved back to the area in 2016 and got involved with the fair board, and we did 4-H and stuff like that when he was young. And now I'm involved with school board, just trying to bring some of the things that I learned and was able to observe when I was away and back to our community and try to help make better.
Hey, first of all, thanks for your service. Let's talk a little bit about your military service. What was your time like? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was how I can get emotional about it. It was great. It was great. It was a highlight of my life. I was in the submarine force, and when I left, my dad, one of the things my dad told me when I left, he served there in Vietnam, and he said, "I know you think you got good friends around here, and you do." And he said, "You're going to meet some of the best people you ever had in your whole life," and I'll tell you that is true.
Man,
you meet some of the best people, men and women from across this country. I'm glad they're on our side.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Perfect. All right, let's jump into the county fair. I always start with these three questions. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? So let's talk about what people are going to see when they show up. Give them a visual idea.
Well, you come in during the week, it's going to smell like a lot of manure. That's what county fairs are about. Your FFA and your 4-H groups coming in. There's projects around. Their animals are going to be here for the shows during the week. Showing off their hard work, showing off the projects they did that they're putting in for their families or friends, and they're going to turn around and sell them. So there's a lot of that going on, which is really neat. You're seeing kids from 3, 4 in the mini clovers of 4-H. They're pulling goats and sheep around, and some of them even have some steers they're messing around with. Up into your high school age kids that are really putting in a lot of time in their showmanship and everything else with their animals. So those are the first things you're going to see during the week is a lot of that. And then, of course, you got your queen contest, your talent shows, just some things to try to bring in the community to kind of show themselves off and their skills. And that's what the fairs were built around in the day, was to people to come in and showcase what they did during the year. That was kind of the start of it. And, back in those days, that was kind of the only events that went on in the year in these rural communities was the county fairs. So that's what you have during the week. And you get close into the week, Fridays and Saturdays, you're going to smell gasoline. You're going to hear a lot of crashing and stuff because we got monster truck shows coming in Friday night. We got an aerial drone racing league coming in. So that's our Friday night gig. And then we roll into our staple here in Shelby is our demolition derby. That's just always been a popular thing in these rural Midwest communities. And, we wrap up the week with that, and then everybody gets home safe. Then we come around next Tuesday, we start planning for next year. So
Absolutely. Aaron, what's the reward in this for you? It's a lot of work. It's all volunteer. What keeps you driving going through this?
Yeah, I'm sure everybody probably has the same answer. I'd hope so. Is to see people come out and enjoy themselves. I mean, it really is. One, you want to keep going with the tradition that you have. We've been in existence since 1881. Proud of that. In 8 years, we'll have 150 years of Shelby County fairs.
Man.
But you want to see people come out and be able to have a good time. And you live in these rural environments, and slowly over time, we are losing our populations. We're declining about 1% a year. In some cases, this may provide an opportunity that's the cheapest and most cost-effective way for some families to be able to bring their kids out and enjoy something for a week or a couple of days. So the biggest thing is to see people come out and enjoy themselves, and the kids and their projects be able to showcase them. Those is why we do it for. When you get out here and you're walking around, the Friday, Saturday night, you walk around the sale when everybody's selling their livestock for their projects for the year. When you see that going on, that's the satisfaction. That's the payback. That's what it boils down to. Everybody wants to see that.
That's perfect. What's one memory that stands out from the past fairs that you've been associated with? Anything stand out that you just really knew you were making an impact?
Oh gosh, when we come out of COVID, we didn't have our extracurricular activities going on at the fair, but we did do a closed livestock shows. And we did not do our annual where they sell their projects. You know, you have your local businesses come in and support and buying the projects from the kids. So we didn't have that year. Well, we come into the next year. I tell you, it was our local community came in full force. I mean, when those kids sold for the first time in 2 years and was able to reap some benefits of what they've done, it was really amazing to see the community come in and support and say, we ain't been here in 2 years. We still appreciate you. That was really neat to see. Really appreciated that from everybody that came out. Really neat.
Perfect. Okay. Because I'm in live music and live entertainment, I always like to survey across the nation. So I'm going to ask you this question, Aaron. What is the best concert that you've ever seen your entire life?
Wow. You know, I've had fortunate to see a lot. We're my wife and I are big Drake White fans. We kind of, anywhere he's close around, we try to go see him, and it's always a great concert. I tell you the highlight, I have to say, I always kind of tell the story. I've seen two different world-class performers in the same venue, and the styles were completely different in their entertainment approach, but the shows were powerful. And that was George Strait and Garth Brooks. I was able to see them in the same place. And you talk about somebody from a show that's moving all over the place with Garth Brooks, high energy, music was great. The crowd was it was electric. And then you go to George Strait, was sitting there behind the mic, you know, but I mean, that voice and everything. I mean, so it was really neat to see the contrast in styles, but the power, the electricity and everything was still there. So I kind of I got to go back to that. It was kind of really neat to see that two different approaches to very same shows.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Absolutely. All right. Dead or alive, you could bring one musical act to the Shelby County Fair. Who would you bring to your fair?
Do I got to pick one?
You got to pick one.
Oh, man. How about a festival?
Okay.
I would love to see a music festival, something that's an all-day event where people.
Okay, Aaron, who's headlining your music festival?
Oh man, I have a hard time picking. We've had Drake White here. I like having him. Who could really rock it up here?
Who have you always wanted to see and never got a chance to see?
Chris Ledoux.
There you go. That was easy. That was way better. I just had to word it for you.
Yeah. Chris Ledoux. I regret I was not able to see him before he passed. I really enjoyed his music over the years.
I got you there. All right. I've been selfish. I've been asking questions all morning long. This is your chance to ask me a question. What would you ask me, Aaron?
I just what's your vision here? You know, what you're doing this. I think this is great. I'd really like just kind of hear some feedback from you and what your goals and your vision and where you like this to go.
Sure. So when COVID hit, I'm a Midwest guy. We manage out of Nashville and do those things, but fortunately, I guess sometimes being a small guy in a big pond can be good. And during COVID, we were still able to play. We maybe not as big of venues and different things, but there were a lot of venues who were shut down completely. And but there were some venues that were very creative and kept everyone safe. Venues that started the drive-up concerts. We had lake marinas who would allow boats to come in and they'd serve food from their restaurant delivered to the boats, and they'd have music on their outdoor patio. So we wanted to share those ideas to give people a little bit of hope as it goes through there. Now that we're out of COVID and man, people are anxious to try new things. Like I think more than ever, people don't take for granted the next day like they used to. And so we wanted to give people an opportunity to introduce them to new venues, new fairs, new festivals, places they can go to meet people. And that's kind of where this podcast is going, is just spreading the word about new events that people may not know about. And people are willing to travel much further now to do that. And so we really don't have any limitations as it goes through there. That's a great question, Aaron. Absolutely. Very good. Aaron, how do people find out more about Shelby County Fair?
You can get on our Facebook page, Shelby County Fair, Missouri. There's several Shelby counties, so you got to make sure you're on Shelby County, Missouri. But that's our main source of how we push out our data in this area. And then, of course, locally, we'll have stuff in the radio stuff. But the big thing is get on our Facebook page. That's where you can find our events, our times, our locations, what we're going to have year to year, and have it. And then our contact info's on there.
Sure. No, that's perfect. Guys, check them out. Aaron, thanks for being on this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
Well, baby,